I was saying that we have Caribbean Biafrans. In fact, there's a lot of them. I don't even mean in terms of where they came from. Some of them are already Biafrans. We have Dr. Art Obadike. And we've also met some of them that have traced their ancestry to Biafra, and they really want to be part of what we are doing. So, Dr. Art, please talk to our Caribbean Biafrans on what they have to do to support Biafra. Thank you.
Dr. Art, is Dr. Art on video? Okay.
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
yes.
Good evening to everyone, our Prime Minister, and to Mazen Namdekano, and every member that is present here. But I go talk like Jamaican, so you will understand very well where I'm coming from. There are 26 Caribbean islands, including mine, Jamaica. We have, hailing from the coast of Anguilla, Antigua and Bermuda, Aruba, Bahamas, Barbados, the British Virgin Islands and the Cayman Islands, Cuba, Dominica, Dominican Republic, Grenada, Guadeloupe, Haiti, Martinique, Netherlands, Antilles. Now I won't go into that. Puerto Rico, St. Barnes, that's B-A-R-T-S, St. Kitts, St. Martin, St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago, Turks and Caicos. Now, all these are my Caribbean brethren. All these are descendants from the Africa that they don't know that they came from. The Caribbean and South America received 95% of the slave arriving in the Americas. And they arrived from the Bight of Biafra and Benin. The Bight of Biafra and Benin were the major supply of this human cargo. 30,000 per annum in 1690. That was before even anybody heard about the place called Nigeria. 85,000 a century later. And in 1760, most made their journey there, were distributed all over the Caribbean. So yes, my sister, if the brother even traced his ancestral or his DNA roots, yes, that is the amount of people that was cargoed across the Atlantic in the lucrative slave trade that is in the Caribbean. And I want to pass this message on to them right now that their support is needed. Their support is needed for them to identify back with where they came from. They were forced. And they have lost the memory of where they came from. So I hope they are hearing me, because I call all 26. And there is even more in South America that I don't have the statistics too, but they are there. They can hear me. Your support for Biafra is very important so that you can make that last connection and identify with the Black nation, the Biafran people. Because most of these countries that you all find, or the Caribbean islands that you find yourself in, they are colonized, including the ones that I came from. They are colonized. And they need to have an identity. So I'm reaching out to them so that they can support Biafra and have an identity. They can have a home to come back to. Now, did you hear the amount I said? Yes, it was thousands. And they endured the Atlantic slave trade. And right now, I am so glad that I'm privileged to be in this media and to call on my people and say, I know you have been scattered in these lands that it's called the Caribbean and given all sorts of name and identity. I would say, like what Bob Marley said, I want to go back to Africa. And the Africa that you want to go back to is Biafra. So if you can support Biafra, you will have an identity. You will have a place called home. Support our homeland. I know you might be all comforted in your individual Caribbean islands, because trust me, from the Isles of Grenada to the Isles of Dominica, the many different resources, you don't have a clue because the history has been wiped away from you. So where I am concerned, I'll be the one to help, to remind you of where you come from. And by doing so, support Biafra. You will never regret it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Maduke. Thank you. Minister Sani, Caribbean Audio. Thank you.
Greetings to all the Caribbean islands, both in the West Indies and Eastern Caribbean or East Indies. Those that are still colonized by Britain, it's time to shine your eyes and look to the land of the rising sun. That land who won't colonize you. That land where our ancestors came from and they were forced against their will to travel on slave ships. That land you all call the motherland. That land have a name. It's called Biafra. Biafra is conducting a referendum to leave from under the claws of Nigeria and Britain. So, help us, support us financially so that they could accomplish this dream. They could accomplish this referendum. You will have a homeland to go back to or to visit whenever you want. Help us by supporting us financially to make the last connection to Africa. Your financial contribution to the motherland will help the restoration of Biafra. Support Biafra from the corners of Jamaica, Barbados, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, British and US Virgin Islands. You guys are still colonized. Support Biafra so that you will have a homeland to relate to. St. Martin, St. Kitts, Guadeloupe, St. Lucia, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Antigua, Turks and Caicos, the Cayman Islands, and all the islands in North and the South America that hinge to the Caribbean islands. I'm speaking to you all. Support Biafra financially so that from the isles of which you find your place, you will have a homeland to return to. That homeland is called Biafra. Support Biafra with any little thing you have. Spread the words to your neighbor. Spread the words to your friend. Biafra need your support. Biafra, the motherland in Africa that you must return to. The motherland that is waiting to hear from her children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caribbean Biafra.
Thank you.
All right. Now we call on.
Yes, Biafrans, I have just come to register this thing before we start our program. We told you that the ants of the earth, the bees of the air, the birds of the air, and the fishes in the water will join this struggle. And this is the time Chukwu Okike Abiama says, if you human being refuse to worship me, I will raise up the stone to do that. And you can see that today, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has become a movement. And Biafra is a religion. And we have been gathering all this history, making sure we bring it to mankind, that Biafra is the light of the whole world. In Biafra, Africa died. Resurrection of Biafra is resurrection of Africa and of the whole world. Restoration of Biafra is restoration of every black dignity all over the world. Today, when we started this movement, we told you that Morgan Freeman is a Biafran, T.D. Jakes is a Biafran, Wesley Snipes is a Biafran, Desmond Washington is a Biafran, Will Smith is a Biafran, Caribbeans are Biafrans, Haiti are Biafrans. Then, during the time of slavery trade, they took all our brothers and they dumped them. After they built America, they later transferred them to Jamaica. All this thing you heard today, 12 countries in South Africa are signing ally with the bridge. They need a place they will call a home. Now, we are just ending it here for history purpose before we come back to our program. If you have not subscribed to this great history we are making, try to do so. We call it now. We have to come back now for a deep analysis because Chukwu Okike Abiama has ordained Biafra as a sure match. This is not a practice. This is something that is real, because the children of God must go back home. The real exodus. This is what we are into. You heard it here now, and this thing has been long time ago.